Hello and welcome to Chugging Along. I'm Tim.
And I'm Sam.
So thank you very much for your comments on our last video where we saw a narrowboat that had a Volkswagen Touran welded onto its stern, and we made it to Uxbridge.
If you're new here, we're on a long narrowboat trip from Hurleston Junction to London, and this is the final episode in the series where we reach our final destination. You want to stick around this video as my sisters join us on board. They also share their real thoughts on me living on a boat.
Today's video is between Uxbridge and Hayes, and our average speed is currently at 1.42 miles an hour. Our target was to get there on a 1.5 mile an hour average speed. But this section of canal, when we turn onto the Paddington arm of the Grand Union, is less lock heavy. So did we make our target speed? All will be revealed at the end.
Before we get into this video, we'd like to give a shout out to John and Ruth Baker, who sent us a photo of them playing our canal board game, Argy Bargy, whilst on a boating holiday. Playing Argy Bargy on a narrowboat is the most authentic way to play, and if you'd like to get your hand on a copy, there's a link in the description box below.
Right, so let's get started with today's cruise, and we start at the clear waters near Denham Deep Lock.
This is the busy A40, and if you're travelling west, it's just about to transform into the M40, which we chugged under on the South Oxford Canal near Banbury.
Look at the burglar bars on the windows. These are becoming a more common sight on London boats.
The water is still clear here, which is a rare treat when on canals.
We then made it to Uxbridge Lock. We showed you our Uxbridge diaries in last week's video.
This has to be the smallest narrowboat we've ever seen. It even has an outboard motor. Perfect for short trips or as a little guest house. We'd actually quite like one of these. It was nice showing my sisters how locks worked. Here's Ernestina cranking the paddles and Princess helping us push the gate.
I know you can do it, okay? And don't let the paddle go in your clothing as well because it's stained. Yeah, you do really well. That's why I broke the mitt. Oh my God, heels are really strong. It's quite easy, isn't it, to push? They look heavier than what they actually are. Right, and Stina, you can put the paddle on. Do you want to try actually? You can try, Princess. You can have this one. Okay, this Look, keep going. Well done. I probably could do it. I mean, if you want to, don't. If you try to open that, won't you? There's water pressure. In fact, you've got more water in there than there. So you have to wait till it's even. Look how high up the boat is before. That's it. Well done.
They were a bit scared to walk over the lock gate, but they all made it in the end.
Well done, Princess. You did really well.
It's fair to say that Cowley Lock is in a beautiful and peaceful setting. I was at the stern with Rosie. Here she is, giving steering a go.
Isn't it, to dodge the swans?
No, you need to go the other way because it's the opposite way. So you towards me.
It's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can take you doing it's very.
Wait, it's this way, isn't it?
Then whilst we were cruising between Cowley and West Drayton, we left him to do the steering and I interviewed my sisters.
I'm Rosie.
I'm Ernestina.
And I'm Princess.
And we are Sparkler Sisters.
What did you guys think when I told you that Tim and I were going to move into a narrowboat?
I don't think we were really surprised, to be honest. Well, I don't think I was, because the way you guys are such adventurous, you've been travelling like Southeast Asia, it makes sense that you would want to do something more closer to home and still have like some sort of adventure going on as well. So for me, I don't think like that surprised, even though it was still a bit of a shock, like wow, you're going to live on a boat. It still wasn't that much of a shock.
It was a shock, but not the fact that you were living on a boat, but I think more so the fact that they were just on a boat, because I've just never known anyone to live on a boat. So for me it was just like, oh wow, okay, that's new, that's different. I'm not surprised that they took that route though, because they are really alternative people. So I was just like, yeah, okay, cool, that's different.
Kind of similar. I'm not surprised it's something that you can travel with, because I know you guys are like traveling, but when I initially thought of a boat, I thought of like a small wooden circle, and I was thinking an actual canoe. And I was like, what do you mean you're going to live there? Like, and you have like pedal sticks and pedaling, and I was very confused and concerned. But you know what? Yes, it's very nice. It's very different to what I thought it would be. But yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say like I've had like an interest in narrowboats, but I've always seen them around, especially because I like to go on walks and stuff by the canal. So like the riverside area and all that kind of stuff, like I'm aware of like narrowboats, but I've just never like been proper intrigued or interested in them all. So I was actually really excited when Samantha said that she's going to be living on one, because then I'll get the opportunity to at least come and go on one and just experience what it's like living on one and being on one. And like so far, to be honest, like I couldn't see myself doing it personally, but I can see why they'll do it.
Yeah, no, I've been to canals before, and it was like a passing by thing. It wasn't like to go there because I wanted to be there. It was just to pass by because I needed to, and that was it really. love how everything's set up. It's just really nice, you know, coming on again and being like on, because now I'm actually in it while it's moving. It's a different experience and I like it. Like, it's nice. I got more stuck in. I got a bit more hands-on. So yeah, I'm like warming up to the idea of it now a lot more than how I felt at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I feel like because it's something new and something different, it makes me like it more. And yeah, I think that's the appeal to it for me.
I think I'm the same. The first time we came on the boat, we were all freaking out, having to walk the plank. We were all so scared. And then going on, I was like, actually, it's not that bad. It's really nice and cozy. And it's like everything has its own place, and it's just like so cute and so adorable. And like Ernestina said, like it's a different experience as well when you're on it and it's moving. When it's stationary, it's a nice experience as well. But I really do like it when it's moving. It brings another element to it. And it's just a really enjoyable experience.
As time's gone on, I've gotten used to it. Like for example, I've forgotten that we're even moving right now.
Yeah.
And I've gotten used to that. Like at first, it was like rocking, and I felt very uneasy about
Motion
that.
sickness.
I felt very uneasy about that. And like, it's just a different way of living. But you know, I think it's something that like, the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and you just. But it's like a nice idea, you know, when you're cruising, you know, playing music, you know, the sun's setting, that's the vibe, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what we were doing for a bit.
Like,
It was great.
that's definitely a vibe. But yeah, that's my intake.
I kind of like the idea of being able to take your house with you to places. I don't know whether this is like just my lazy mindset of just always liking to just stay
Not
at home.
having to pack your
But
stuff.
do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's convenient. And do you know, like the documentary we were watching, or you were watching, I just was just around, but about minimalism.
Minimalism, yeah.
Like you can kind of still live that kind of lifestyle and move around, and it also kind of like brings in the idea of just not having too much attachments to things. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
building that
it's
attachment,
true.
and that's what
It's
can
true.
kind of slow you down in life. So I think in that sense, I quite like the idea of being able to move around. I think it's just because we're so used to living a life of being stuck in a certain
land.
place and being on land, okay, busy, and just being stuck in a certain place that, you know, it just feels weird. It's just the unknown that you don't really like.
It's not
the
like I
idea
feel
of.
like it's weird. It's just, it's not to my liking.
Yeah, no, I
basically.
get that. Yeah, I like the idea.
I feel like something about that, like, well, when it comes to like minimalism and then like alternative ways of living, there's like a peace that comes with that. Like there's a certain kind of peace when you're blocked off from all the things that are going on around you and just have like, your own kind of space. But the fact of moving every 2 weeks, personally for me, what I think of my lifestyle and being a dancer and performer is wouldn't necessarily work.
So what do you think about Tim and I having our YouTube channel?
The YouTube, we think it's great. Like as soon as it came out, like I subscribed, I shared it to all my friends, everyone in the family group chats, because I was just like, yes, like you guys do your thing, and like it's a good way to keep up with what you guys are getting up to and where you're going. And yeah, just even find out like stuff about how to maintain, or even like what's the lifestyle of like living in a boat as well. It's been really interesting.
I've just been supportive, and I'm happy that they're doing it because they seem like they enjoy it, and it just works well for them, and I'm a proud sister. Yes.
And one more thing, should we do it, guys? Keep
The sun was starting to set for the very final stretch of the journey. This is Southall, known as Little India. It has some amazing food and temples.
We were now about to turn into the marina where we stayed at last winter. It's called Willow Tree. This was the first time we'd been in the marina since buying our boat at Wilton in Northamptonshire.
After all that cruising, with the lights shining at the restaurant, it was an emotional moment. We'd finally found our own little base for Marielle.
So that's the end of our journey. From Theale on the Llangollen Avon Canal to the big aqueducts in Wales, and then from Hurleston Junction to London. I think it's fair to say it was an incredible journey.
It allowed us to see Britain in a completely unique way, and we're also really pleased that we've documented the whole thing so we can watch it all back in years to come.
So Tim, do you manage to make our trip average of 1.5 miles per hour? It's over to you for those all-important cruising statistics.
Okay, right, thank you very much, Sam. Let's have a look then, shall we? Whew, pressure. So, over the 1 day of cruising, we did 8 miles and just the 2 locks, and we did that all in 3.5 hours, thus giving us a healthy average speed of 2.3 miles an hour. Our final trip average speed was 1.47 miles an hour, a failure by just 0.3 miles an hour. And yeah, I think that Heartbreak Hill and Loch Vegas were ultimately our undoing, would you say?
Yeah, close but no cigar.
Yeah, exactly. We will not be popping a bottle of sherry, I'm afraid.
So join us next week as we give you a tour around the marina where we spent our winter, and we also give you our thoughts about marina life.
So thank you very much for watching this video all the way to the end, and remember, no matter what you do in life, you've got to
Keep chugging!